All right, guys, welcome back. And today we're going to be talking about a CNC tool. And this is not a tool that you can necessarily buy or get somewhere. This is a tool that I developed for myself. This Father's Day, I've been really busy making these little hat boxes right here. I partnered with a local business, and they do hats and t-shirts and stuff. They actually make my t-shirts. And so I started making these for them, and they had a lot of people ordering them. And this is a CNC project. It's made up of a bunch of small parts. And so when I cut them out, the tabs are a bit, you know, they're simple to get rid of. You just use a flush cut bit and a router. But in the past, I have had to clamp my router because, you know, these small parts, it's not like a big part where you can, you know, run the router around it. The small parts, you kind of need to bring them to the router. And my router table, I keep round over bits and stuff like that on it. So I needed a way to be able to knock tabs off of my material without swapping bits constantly in my router table. So I created this guy. So stick around and I'm going to show you what I've come up with, how it works, and where you can get the file if you're interested in it. So let's get started. All right, so when this project started, the way that I used to do my tabs, of course, is I would just take my router here and I would use it by hand. This is the cordless one. I have a corded one as well. And I would just knock those tabs off. That can be a little sketchy. It can be a little dangerous for your fingers. And so later on with smaller parts, I started clamping the router over to my CNC using some Rockler clamps, and I would bring the part to the router because there is a threshold where the part's big enough that it just makes more sense to bring the part to the router, especially when they get really small. And so I got to thinking, why? I've got all these 3D printers. I can do it. I can design it. So why don't I make myself a way of holding that thing still so that I can mount, you know, my corded one that I rarely use the corded one. I had it for an old CNC that I don't have anymore. And so I wanted to be able to mount the router to it and then mount the router to like a table or something. So I developed this. This was version 1, and I used this one to finish the job that I had with these boxes. It's got a few miles on it. I did print this one out of ABS to hopefully make it a little stronger. I didn't have any problems with it. Again, I'm only using this to flush cut tabs. The tabs that I put on my CNC projects are only like 4 millimeters tall and like 12 millimeters wide. And I do the triangular tabs. So it's not a lot of pressure on the router. So I want to stress that. I built this with the intentions of it being a flush cut bit only. That's why that hole is so small. Very, very small amounts of material. Sometimes maybe you get that little onion peel. It'll work for that too, but this is not intended to be doing like rabbits with, okay? I didn't build this to cut rabbits. This was built and designed strictly for tabs and maybe the occasional onion peel or whatever on your project. So after running this and finishing that job, I was like, man, that thing works great, and it was doing a good job. I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep it, but it didn't have dust collection, so I had to go back to the drawing board and figure out dust collection. But the problem that I had with dust collection is not every part am I always gonna want the dust collection, because the dust collection could get in the way. Like if I'm doing flat objects, you know, no big deal. But if I get into doing some rounded things, sometimes the dust collection could get in the way. So I wanted to be sure that the dust collection was removable, because it worked pretty well without the dust collection, but it did make a bit of a mess. So I went back to the drawing board over in Fusion, and that's when I came up with version 2, which this is actually version 3, but I came up with version 2, which had the dust collection attached to it. And so what I've wound up doing is, you can see here, is this snaps. Like it's got I got a couple of little pins right there that are just deep enough, and they snap into those little holes on the top of this bracket. Now, I made the holes go all the way through the top of the bracket, and the reason I did is so that if you're using it like this and any saw shavings or dust falls back there, it just goes all the way through. It's not going to be gumming up anything. So you can pop this off if you need to when you're not using it, and and take and, you know, use the router like this, or if you need to change the bit, adjust the bit, take it off for cleaning, whatever the case may be. And when you get ready to put it back on there, it just indexes with those 2 pins and then snaps back on. And it's not a really, really tight fit, but I didn't want to go too tight of a fit with it, because in the event that, because you know how these things can be, especially if you mess up, it can kind of kick back occasionally. And if it does, I didn't want it to just destroy the dust shoe. And so what I did is I kind of made it to where enough of an impact, it's going to come off of there. But when you connect the hose to it, the hose kind of adds a little extra pressure to make sure that it stays on there. And it's pretty rigid as far as just general purpose. There's also this little tab right here. I put that on this side, and you can kind of press that in once you get it on there. And what that does is that kind of counteracts if you have a hose that's kind of pulling on it a little bit, that kind of gives you a little shoulder to keep that hose from popping it off. Now, when you get ready to remove it, you just lift from this side, and boom, it comes off. But when you're putting it on, you know, it just snaps in right here. But it stays together pretty well. In the event that, you know, it starts getting a little loose on you, or if you decide that you're never going to take it off, you could glue it. I did use some adhesive and adhered my very first prototype dust shoe to mine, and it worked pretty well, but you couldn't remove it. So I wanted one that you could take it off if you needed to. So there you go. The way it attaches, and this one only works with the DeWalt trim routers. This one here, I can confirm it works with, as well as the corded one. And I'll put the model numbers in the description, so if you want to look, you'll know. And it's also going to be on the listing for the file over on my Etsy shop, of course. And I'm only going to charge a couple of bucks for the file just to help with my, you know, developing costs, because there were several prototypes before I got one that I felt comfortable with. So you can purchase the file and print this thing out and use it for yourself. I will recommend, though, if you do get the file and you print it, don't skimp out with the filament. I would strongly recommend PETG, ABS, something harder if you want. And run a little high, run some thick walls, a little bit extra infill, just to make it a little more robust. I did stick with around 5mm thick on all of the parts, so it's pretty robust. But you know, it is holding a router, and so you don't want to go skimping and trying to do like a 5% infill or nothing. You know, go ahead and spend a little extra filament, a little extra time, and make it a little stronger. The design, like I said, works pretty well. I think I did this one at 15%, but this is with PETG, and I also printed another one with ABS glass field, and it really holds with the ABS GF. So there you go. That's the design. Like I said, I've got mine over here, and I'll show you kind of what my setup looks like, because this is the one I've been using. I've used it ever since I came out with this particular design, and I used it again today on another job. So let's look at that one. So as you can see, this is the one that I'm using, and you can see it's a little used. I used it on a job today also. I do have mine connected to the dust collection right here, and I've got myself a little blast gate there. When I built this, I did include a 2.5 inch. It's made to accept a 2.5 inch hose, but there's also going to be an adapter that I'll show you in a second that'll work with a shop vac. So the way I've got mine set up, I can pop mine off and put this down to the side if I need to get in here. If there's something rounded, you can see this one's ABS glass field, so it's a little different texture, but man, it is strong. The ABS with the glass in it, it's really strong for what this is intended. Like I said, you're only using a little bit of the bit to cut off your tabs right here, and so it doesn't have to hold a lot of resistance, just the weight of the router, a little bit of vibration, and maybe some incidental forces from the bit working. So just make sure you don't skip out on the printing. But once if I take it off and I decide I want to put it back on there, it simply comes over and just snaps right back down on here. Now, mine is the version 2. It's before I added a little tab. That's the reason I added the tab, is mine was a little bit easier to kind of pop loose if you push down on it over there. So I decided to add that extra tab here just to offset any incidental force that you may get on that. So far, it hasn't came loose while I'm using it or anything. but I could just see, you know, with this, it needing a little extra over here. So that's why I added the tab on version 3. Mine is actually version 2, because version 2 got these little cutouts right here to minimize print time. And then version 3, I added the little tab. So there you go. That's where I got mine set up. And I do have a little router table over there. And I also have another plunge router over there. So, but the thing is changing bits is what I'm trying to avoid. This is just really quick because like the CNC is right here and I can just spin around and run it here. So I did these little guys today. These are just cut out some 3/4 inch oak, and I do have 2 tabs on here. So I'm gonna show you some video here of me running these things today and just kind of give you an idea of how the system works. Like I said, for a 3D printed part that only takes up around a 6x6, or let's say maybe a square foot, it takes up a square foot of your shop space, as opposed to, you know, if you had to go out and buy a second router table, it would be a lot more expensive. And of course, trying to hold the router by hand, it's a little dangerous, a little sketchy. So this enables you to be able to, in essence, just lock your router still so that you can use it. And the way, like I said, the way that it works, all you've got to have once you print the part is a Phillips head screwdriver. You take this is the clear acrylic plastic part that goes on the top of these, and you take the 4 screws, Phillips head screws, out of this, remove it, and then in its place goes this. Now I would recommend when you're putting it together, make sure where you orient the off and on switch. And another cool thing is, like I said, I did include, for you guys that may not have a 2.5 inch dust extraction system, this fits my Ryobi little small 5-gallon, 8-gallon shop vac. It slides up in there, so you can use a shop vac with it also. So let me set that over there. So you just take this little adapter, you can print this out too, and take this little adapter and slide it up on there. And once you get that on there, now you have dust collection with your Ryobi or similar shop vac. And this is my little Ryobi that I keep over by the CNC, and you can see it slides up in there. It fits nicely. So once you get that connected, then you can just pop it back onto the mount, and there you go. So I think it's pretty awesome. But there you go. So if you do want to use dust collection and you don't have an actual dust collection, there you go. As long as you've got a shop vac that has, I think this is maybe like a 1.5 inch adapter opening here. It's just one of the little tapered adapters, and we can measure that. I do have a ruler right here. So this hose is, yes, it's 1.5 inner diameter, and I'm going to go closer to 1 5/8 or so outer diameter. So if you have a shop vac with this size hose or thereabouts, you can plug into that also. So that's the one thing I will say, is if you do need to take it out to change the bit or whatever, it's simple to take it loose, and you can leave this on there. So if you have 2 of these, if you have one of these corded ones that you're running on your CNC, and you have an extra one of these laying around, because you know you take these off to put them on the CNC, and so you could literally just use your second one to create yourself the tab remover, and you just slide the router up until you get the appropriate depth right here to remove your tab, and then you just lock that guy down right there. So it's really simple, works good. I've had good luck with it, and it has helped my workflow, because now I'm not over here with this router in my hand trying to, you know, do some sketchy stuff to take off tabs. But that's all I got to share with you on that today, guys. I just had a lot of people were messaging me and emailing me saying, hey, I really need that in my shop. You know, I'm in a garage, I'm in a small area, I don't have room. I mean, you could literally mount that thing to the table that holds your CNC. So it's pretty versatile. I think it's a lot better than most of your larger, like if you're looking at getting a router table or whatever. I've seen a lot of guys, and I did it myself, to where you just buy the router table plate and put it in the table. And that's cool, but this gives you another option, like I said, in case you're using your router table for other things. So that's going to be it for today, guys. Like I said, I'll drop links down below if you want to go check that out. Run over to Etsy and see that file. There's some other stuff there you might want to look at too. But until next time, be safe and have a good day.